It's one thing to see conservatives calling for Obama's impeachment, but when a growing number of prominent liberals start mentioning the I word, an imminent reality of impeachment fills the air. Famous liberal journalist Nat Hentoff is not impressed with Obama, to say the least. He is baffled that Obama should escape such scrutiny when President Bill Clinton faced impeachment just for being a, quote, lousy liar, unquote. Here are some of Nat's recent quotable nuggets describing Obama. Worse than Richard Nixon. An unprecedented abuse of powers, the most un-American president in the nation's history. And now, Nat Hentoff says it's time to begin looking into impeachment. But Hentoff is not alone in his quest to impeach the president. Others talking impeachment include Texas Congressman Farenthold, Steve Stockman, Louie, Gohmert, and Bill Flores. In Florida, Congressman Trey, Radel, and Ted Yoho. In California, Congressman Duncan. Iowa, Congressman Stephen King. Michigan, Congressman Kevin Bentivolio. In Oklahoma, Congressman James Inholfe. Utah, Congressman Jason Chaffetz. And Michigan Congresswoman Michele Bachmann. These are a lot of high-profile congressmen in the impeachment bandwagon, but to see a first-ever impeachment conviction in the Senate, there would need to be some impeachment-minded senators. But are there any? For starters, there are three. Oklahoma Senator Tom Coburn, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. They all seem to be more than just a little bit in favor of impeaching Obama. But according to the United States Constitution, in order to obtain a conviction, the president on trial must have committed, quote, high crimes or misdemeanors, unquote. So let's examine the facts in Obama's acts to see if any of these fall into these categories. Hentoff sees Obama's biggest problem as his, quote, penchant to rule by executive order when he can't convince Congress to do things his way, unquote. During Obama's first cabinet meeting of 2014, he said, quote, I've got a pen and I've got a phone, and I could use that pen to sign executive orders and take executive actions. According to Hentoff, Obama, quote, apparently doesn't give one damn, well, you know how to spell it, about the separation of powers, unquote, adding, quote, never before in our history has a president done these things, unquote. By the way, Nat Hentoff isn't just some obscure columnist. Many decades, he's been regarded as the conscience of civil libertarianism and liberalism. Hentoff is also one of the foremost authorities on the Bill of Rights and the Supreme Court. As a columnist and staff writer for the Village Voice for 51 years, from 1957 until 2008, Hentoff is a walking, talking embarrassment to the Obama administration. Hentoff says Obama gets away with these breaches of the Constitution only because there is no outrage in Congress, no coverage by the media, and no knowledge by the public, adding that Obama is, quote, in a position now where he figures he's going to do whatever he wants to do, unquote. He also said Obama doesn't even pretend to care about the separation of powers anymore between the executive branch and Congress because, quote, he's the boss and hardly anyone cares enough to stop him. Here are just 10 impeachable offenses we came up with for Obama usurping Congress with the stroke of a pen, issuing executive orders, and taking actions aimed at changing our constitutional republic into a police state. Number 1. Enacting key provisions of the failed DREAM Act to halt deportations of illegal immigrants. Number 2. Enacting stricter gun control measures. 3. Unprecedented domestic spying with the apparatus of the NSA. 4. Sealing presidential records. 5. Creating an economic council. 6. Creating a domestic policy council. 7. Changing pay grades. 8. Delaying the employer mandate in Obamacare. 9. Changing the types of plans available under Obamacare. And 10, ensuring abortions will be covered under Obamacare. But just because it's named Obamacare doesn't give Obama the right to do whatever he wants. Even the far left-leaning fact check wrote, quote, it's true that President Obama is increasingly using his executive powers in the face of staunch Republican opposition in Congress. He's faced federal policies on immigration and welfare and appointed officials without congressional approval, unquote. Hentoff noted that while Nixon merely claimed that winning an election gave him the right to do what he wanted, Obama is actually doing whatever he pleases. It's one thing when Ted Cruz gives a 17-hour filibuster, but when Nat Hentoff talks, liberals listen. So, we will end this video with the final opinion of Barack Hussein Obama, expressed by libertarian icon and liberal icon Nat Hentoff. Quote, I don't think any president has acted so lawlessly as a matter of habit, describing Obama as a president who does not care about due process, the separation of powers, the concept of self-governing republic, or any other basic American ideals. Obama is the most destructive, dangerous president we've ever had. What Obama is doing now is about as un-American as you could get, unquote. I might also note that this video was largely based on the following WND.com article by Garth Kant in the description below this video.